sweets, it's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create a gorgeous fall book stack inspired by Kirkland's without paying Kirkland's prices. Using Dollar Tree books and a few other budget-friendly items, I'll guide you through this easy and customizable DIY project. Let's get started and bring some cozy autumn vibes into your home. For this project, I'll be using 3 books from Dollar Tree, Burlap fabric, Waverly chalk paint in the color Ivory, and 3 vinyl cutouts. So I have my books stacked up here, and they're not actually going to be stacked in this order, but what I want to do on these 2 in particular is to take my Ivory chalk paint and paint just over the spine here, because when I go to cover them in the burlap, I can see the lettering through it, and I don't want to see that. Now with the orange one, I wasn't able to see through it, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that just the way it is, and also because it's orange and it's the season, I'm okay with the actual orange color of the book showing through. So I'm going to go ahead and just paint the spines of these, again, with this Ivory chalk paint. Just to kind of camouflage this lettering on here. I'm going to go ahead and set these aside to dry. I think this one is going to need, this one over here is going to need another coat, but I think this one will be all right. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, set them aside to dry, and then I will start working on this one. I'll be right back. So my burlap fabric here and the second book, and this fabric I actually got from Dollar Tree. It is a burlap table runner, and it is 7.2 feet by 11.75 inches. So I got that because I was looking for burlap at Dollar Tree, and while they do have burlap there, I couldn't find any plain pieces. They had patterns on them, so I opted to go this route instead. So I don't know if they actually carry plain burlap. All the ones I've ever seen have a pattern on them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cover this book with the burlap fabric. I'm going to be using the Titebond Quick and Thick glue, and I think I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue to help me hold it into place. So first what I'm going to do is measure out how much I need just by wrapping it around, and I'm going to give myself just a little bit of an allowance, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off before I cut into the other end of this. Remove that. Okay. Straighten this out. Okay, so I'm just going to cut right down here, and if there's a little extra, I'll trim that up once everything is dry. Okay, I'm going to set this aside for now. Now, what I want to do is just line this edge up here. Let's do that. And get my hot glue gun. And I'm just going to run a bead. I'm going to run a bead along this edge here. I think that'll be pretty good. So next what I'm going to do is come back with the Quick and Thick, and I'm just going to cover. So I'm going to just get some of this glue on here and spread it out. And this does dry clear. So I'm going to just take my brush and spread it out as best I can, and then smooth the burlap down over it. I just want to make sure I get right up to the edge here. If you wanted to just hot glue this down without bothering with the glue, that's most certainly an option. I just feel like if I glue it down, it'll last a little bit longer for me, rather than it just being a temporary thing that can fall apart. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down and then just smooth it all out. And next, what I'm going to do is come and work on the spine area. Also, while I'm doing this, I did choose the particular books for their sizes based on the inspiration photo. So the second one, the middle book, is a little bit wider than the top and the bottom book, which is why I chose this one here. I'm gonna go ahead and smooth this over. Okay, I'm gonna come on over and do the back. So next, just going to smooth over the back here. The glue got a little bit out of hand on this side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of parchment paper, lay it over this, and then I'm going to set something heavy on it just to make sure that everything stays in place, and I'm going to let it dry. Also, while I'm away, I'm going to go ahead and finish the other two books. It's going to be this exact same thing, so you won't be missing anything there. The glue has fully dried onto the book covers now, and so what I want to do is put a layer of Mod Podge on it, basically so that it would make it easier for cleaning, or at least I'm hoping so. So first, what I'm going to do, because this gives off a lot of the little fibers, is go over it with a lint roller. And that's good there. And so I think I'm going to have to do these in a couple of steps because, of course, I have to do both sides. So I'm going to start on the back, this one, and I'm just using, close it back up. I'm just using Mod Podge Matte. Okay, so I'm going to just come through here and put a nice healthy layer on here. Then I'm going to let it dry and turn it over and do the other side. I'm also going to pay special attention to the edges here because once this does dry, I am going to trim this edge off. So I just want to be extra sure it's not going to start unraveling on me. I also want to add that this step is completely optional. You know, as I said earlier, you could totally skip the Quick and Thick and just hot glue it on there. I just want it to be something that's gonna last, and it's not gonna be something that's just kind of like, I made it and I'm going to throw it away after it's done. This is something that I do want to keep around, and if I do decide, you know, I don't need it anymore, it's something that I could donate and would be nice for someone else to be able to use in their home. Okay, so I'm just coming down to the binding portion of it here, and I'm just gonna focus on the top half so that when I flip it, then I can work on it from the other side as well. So this is basically what I'm gonna be doing until this one and the other two books are complete and dry. And once they are dry, I will be back with the next step. The books have had a chance to dry now, and so what I'm going to do is go ahead and trim off the excess fabric. So I'm gonna open this up here and just start cutting along the edge. Oops. Okay, so that's what the book is looking like so far. So what I'm going to do is make sure I clean up the edges. Something just stuck me back there. Clean up the edges of the book, just to make sure that I'm not going to have any running of the, because you know burlap tends to do that. So I'm just going to make sure for sure it's not going to do that, and clean up some of the edges and finish the rest of these, and then I will be back with the next step. So I have my titles here that I cut out of permanent gold vinyl. I think it's called gold ore through Cricut. And so I was able to find some gold iron-on vinyl in my stash, so crisis has been averted. So I'm going to go ahead and get this ironed on here now. So I'm just going to line this up as best as I can. And I have an old rag over there that I'm going to use as a press cloth. So I'm really not sure if I can just iron straight on this. Let me just double check I didn't move it. Okay. And my 30-second timer. So I'm going to go ahead and just press. I did look up how long to press it on burlap and what temperature. If you have an easy press, there's a guide online. I believe it's a Cricut Easy Press guide that you can look up the temperatures and the fabric choices. That 30 seconds was up quick. Okay, let me. It's not ready yet. I think I'm just gonna do it here and not worry about a timer. But as I was saying, there is a timer guide under, I think it's, if you just Google Cricut heat press guide, it'll tell you like the fabric, the temperature, the time. I'm just really not sure, and I guess I'm gonna try it here. If I can, I'll just try a little corner. If I can just kind of go on the carrier sheet. Is that a thing? I think it is a thing. I feel like it's sticking down. Maybe the rag that I have is a little too thick. So I'm just gonna do this. So other options if you don't have a Cricut is you can do stencils. If you have stencils that are small enough, you can, if you are confident with freehand, you can most certainly freehand it, the titles on. Or you can also use stickers. You're really not limited to doing vinyl if you don't have a vinyl cutting machine. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that one cool down a little bit. For the next book, I have the Autumn Skies one, and I'm just gonna eyeball this and line it up as best I can. So I'm going to start with the first one to peel it off. And I'm just going to go slow here in case I need to go back in with the iron. The F doesn't look like it's all the way stuck to me, so I'm going to go ahead and put some more heat on it. And I don't think I finished my train of thought with the guide. If you have just a regular household iron and you're doing the vinyl, a regular household iron works. You don't have to have any type of fancy heat presses or anything like that. In fact, this one isn't even Cricut brand. I bought the off brand because it was a better price at Amazon. Okay, I'm gonna let that cool down again, and let's try this one. And the M on this one kind of came up, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that back down. I just want to make sure that everything is well and truly adhered. Looks like I needed to take just a little bit more time on these. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And once these are adhered, the project is done. So I will come back with final pictures. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed this easy and budget-friendly fall book stack project. I think it's a great project to elevate some of your other fall decor. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell for more DIY decor inspiration. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video, and happy crafting.